3 years in a row, 3 first-round exits. I'm talking about Tampa Bay, a team that has the talent, the stars, and the experience. But for whatever reason, the past 3 seasons, they can't get out of round 1. Why?
It wasn't our time this year, and that's what's tough, because this was it was a special group, and just to go out and in 5 games was something I don't think any of us imagined, expected, but it happens.
And they won't make excuses, but running into the Florida Panthers, this Florida Panthers team, for the 2nd straight year, didn't help them out either.
At the end of the day, they're winners as well, and kind of feel like we felt 5 years ago or 4 years ago, they find ways to win, and that's what good teams do.
Last season had a few moments that really defined Tampa Bay's playoff run, and it started in the regular season. First, they finished 2nd in the Atlantic. That meant a first-round matchup with the Panthers instead of a potential favorable draw like Ottawa. And this is no disrespect to Ottawa, because maybe Tampa doesn't win that series either. But there's no doubt they go into that as the favorites with home ice advantage. Next is Nikita Kucherov. He led the league in scoring with 121 points. Problem is, he couldn't translate that magic into the postseason. Just 4 assists in 5 playoff games against the Panthers. That makes it back-to-back playoffs without a goal for him, and just one goal in Tampa's last 3 playoff rounds from Nikita Kucherov. That stat is almost unbelievable for a player of his caliber. And when your superstar is hitting a wall like that when it matters the most, it's nearly impossible to win. Finally, injuries to key players. Anthony Cirelli played less than 7 minutes in Game 1 before leaving. Yanni Gourde broke his finger in the same game. And Brandon Hagel almost had his head taken off by Aaron Ekblad. So they have the excuses, and they're not going to use them, because every other team in the postseason has injuries. After you play 82 games, you're going to have injuries, and that's just something you got to get over. And no one knows that more than the Tampa Bay Lightning. But outside of that, the power play was also a major issue. It was dead. It flatlined in the playoffs. 1 for 18 against Florida in that series. That's a horrendous stat for a top 5 power play unit.
We are striving and trying to win the Stanley Cup every year here, and I foresee that being the case for many years to come. But the reality is that even with having a great hockey team, even with having a legitimate Stanley Cup contending team year in, year out, most seasons will end in disappointment.
So what's new this offseason? Not a ton. Pontus Holmberg, Jacob Pelletier, and Boris Kachuk all joined the roster, competing for a role in the bottom 6. Holmberg will likely slot on the 4th line. Pelletier is a 2-way forward fighting for a spot. And Kachuk, after a big AHL season, is back to earn a spot. Going out the other way, Nick Perbix heads to Nashville. Luke Glendening and Cam Atkinson hit free agency. And Isaac Howard, the Hobey Baker winner, was traded to Edmonton after it became clear he wasn't going to sign. That's a big piece of their future going out the door, but the core is still intact. Victor Hedman, Vasilevsky, Braden Point, Brandon Hagel, Kucherov, all under contract. And the one piece that makes this whole thing work in Tampa Bay, maybe the most important ingredient for Tampa, John Cooper, the longest tenured coach in the NHL, looks like he's staying put.
Cooper will be back next year. Cooper will be back because A, he's an outstanding coach. 2, more importantly, he's the best coach for this job. 3, I really enjoy working with him. I am appreciative and grateful for our partnership, and I expect it to go on for many years to come, regardless of how many years he's got left on his contract. When this contract ends, my expectation is he's going to sign another one, and he's going to be here for a while.
Some of Tampa's younger players will be key this season. Max Crozier is ready to step up on defense. He had 34 points in 52 games with Syracuse and made a few NHL appearances last year. Jack Finley and Sam O'Reilly are also pushing for bigger roles. Finley had a strong AHL season and made his NHL debut, while O'Reilly comes over from Edmonton after the Howard trade, racking up 71 points with London in the O last year. Depth will matter. Last season, injuries just piled up. Kucherov, Bjorkstrand, Glendening, Cirelli, Gourde, Hagel, Hedman, Nick Paul all dealt with something during the playoffs. Everyone's healthy now, but the Lightning still need depth scoring and defense-ready options beyond the top guys.
We have those young guys, and we have others coming in Syracuse that are going to be pushing for a roster spot next fall. We haven't had that in a while, and that's exciting as an organization because now we have guys who can add depth and do so not just in the short term, but for many years to come.
Despite the setbacks, the Lightning culture is still intact, and that's very important to this organization. Victor Hedman, he stepped up as captain, playing through a broken foot. Nikita Kucherov, okay, he wasn't great in the playoffs. The guy's already back in the gym. He's been grinding. It looks like he didn't even take any time off once the season was over. And Julien Brisebois wants everything to pretty much stay the same, including the man behind the bench. And that's why John Cooper is going to be there, at least for the foreseeable future.
Tampa's been my home. And, for my kids, it's the only city they really remember.
So here's Tampa in a nutshell. It's a team loaded with stars, with a proven coach, maybe the best coach in the National Hockey League, and a general manager that knows exactly what he wants to do and has his players' trust. And that goes a long way in this league. The problem is these first-round exits year after year are becoming a bad habit, and they need to get over this hump. So here's my question, my big question, heading into the next season. Can they slay the dragon? They're going to have to meet the Florida Panthers at some point in the playoffs if they want to make a deep run. They have to. Whether it's in the first, second, or third round, you got to get over that hump of the Florida Panthers. And I think that if they do, at whatever point that is, this team is built for a Stanley Cup playoff run. I think they have at least one more in them. Look at the players on the team. Look at their goaltender. Vasilevsky, one of the best goalies in the league. Kucherov, still a stud. Victor Hedman, Braden Point, Brandon Hagel, Cirelli, Jake Gensel. I didn't even mention Jake Gensel, but these are superstar players in this NHL who played together for a very long time. They have another run in them. They just got to slay that dragon of the Florida Panthers. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. Do you think the Lightning have one more in them? And does it start next season? Let me know in the comments below.